Going by first impressions, the DonPachi announcer is energetic, the ships and sprite work are detailed enough. For 1995, this isn't the worst I've seen. The demonstration showcases the different types of ships you can control, as well as the option for multiplayer, just in case you've got a buddy around. Speaking of that, it's at this moment I realized that the stock squeaky wheel sound effect that you've definitely heard in cartoons and movies was programmed as a ship movement. That's definitely a odd design choice, but we're moving forward. Also, hot damn, look at this cave logo. This is actually my first time seeing this, as this design was quickly replaced with the logo shmup fans are so accustomed to. To be honest, this logo has its own charm, although the more I look at it, the more it looks like they plagiarized Planet Hollywood. You can choose between 3 ships, the first being a straight shot, concentrated and powerful, the second with medium spread, and the last with the widest spread. However, the larger the spread, the weaker the attacks tend to be. You can also hold down the fire button for a more powerful concentrated attack, but this comes at the cost of movement speed. This structure never really departs from future cave titles. All ships start out with 3 bombs that can clear waves of bullets and enemies, standard affair for the genre, but if you use this while holding down the fire button, a stronger rendition of the beam is executed. So I selected my ship, the game starts, and the first thing I picked up was the music sounds like it was mixed in a Play School voice recorder. Which is odd because the sound effects themselves is completely serviceable. It's just too bad that the music overpowers everything else. I do appreciate the announcer though. It's a bit on the corny side, but it's appreciated nonetheless. He has different dialogue at the beginning of each stage, and he also has something to say for each stage boss.
Rookie, what we got here? A multi-assault tank. Watch yourself, kid.
Graphically, I like what I see. I'm neither ecstatic or disgusted by it. I think it's the small details that gives this one a pass, like this little soldier dude running away for his dear life.
Holy shit!
So I defeated the first boss, and the second stage begins. And within seconds, it becomes completely apparent that anyone playing this game in 1995 was just feeding this machine quarters. The difficulty makes a steep jump, and because of me consistently dying, I eventually noticed that once all your lives are gone and you insert another credit, you actually start out with your bomb slots maxed out. This is definitely nice because I guarantee you that in the later levels I would only last 5 seconds without these, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it transpired most of my time when I ran out. In fact, I found myself using these bombs as a defense mechanism than using it for offensive purposes. Hello, Dipshit here. I just wanted to clarify that I'm fully aware that bombs are used as a defensive precaution in shmup titles. Now, I am not an expert at shmups, but goddamn do I love them. That being said, I've played them casually. I just felt more specifically in DonPachi, I was more reliant on the bombs as a defensive precaution more than usual in other shmups. So that's all I needed to clarify. Back to the video. It just gives you a millisecond of breathing room before the next barrage of enemies and bullets fill the screen. Look at this! There is no way I could predict that pattern unless I played this constantly, and I'm sure that was by design. After too many continues to count and exploiting my infinite amount of credits, I completed the last stage expecting this to be over. I was wrong. It turns out this game has a story, and a disturbing one at that. The ending credits reveal that the pilot you've been controlling this entire time was participating in a trading operation against your fellow comrades in order to weed out and create elite super pilots. You've been killing your comrades this entire time, and the main character, despite asking the commander when the, quote, bloodshed will end, knowingly participated in this mission. What the fuck? This is definitely not a typical story direction for a genre like this, and in a way, probably made this title stand out in 1995. I don't want to read into this too much, but it did cross my mind that perhaps this design choice had a deeper purpose. When people immerse themselves in a video game, it's expected that you play as a competent figure that vanquishes anything that crosses your path. automatically and thoughtlessly. Obviously, if that's how the game was designed, that's fine. But maybe DonPachi's point was to question who you were vanquishing. We, as players, rarely often do. This concept isn't anything new today, but for a coin-operated arcade machine in 1995, that stands out. Or, it's just an arcade designed for a short burst of entertainment at the cost of your hard-earned coins. Anyway, the cutscene continues, and the commander states that the end of this mission is completely dependent on you. 7 years pass, and the game restarts, except now the difficulty is even harder. It turns out there's a true ending to DonPachi, as well as a secret final boss. Even though I love cave titles, I'm no means an expert. That being said, it gets to a point, especially on this second loop, I became very dependent on bombs. I pressed on, and eventually I reached and defeated the true final boss, Hachi, a mecha bee. The bullet patterns were completely insane, and again I'm reminded that I wouldn't even be close to experiencing all of this if it wasn't for emulation. The ending scene rolls, and the commander states that all the lives sacrificed is what made this mission a, quote, success, and that now you're part of the elite DonPachi squadron. Neat. I did not expect to have much to say about DonPachi, but playing the game is a lot different than vague impressions. Overall, DonPachi is the first game that these devs made as a company, and it certainly feels that way. That in no way means that this game is awful, because it's not. It's decent. It's the accumulation of blemishes that holds this game back a bit. The music is loud, crunchy, and sometimes speaks over the announcer. Even if the music was more clear, I don't believe I'd care for it anyway. I also understand that bullet hell games are quarter munchers by design. That being said, it feels more so here. For instance, another arcade title I really enjoy is Metal Slug X. I can complete the first 2 stages without dying, and sure, I played it more and I have more practice with it, but the difficulty is ramped up midway through the game. In DonPachi, I nearly completed the first stage without dying, and that was my first attempt. So again, with practice, I'm sure I could complete the first stage without dying, but by stage 2, Cave just lets it loose. It's not just a gradual difficulty increase either. Oddly enough, I think I died less in stage 3, which could also indicate that not only does the difficulty spike very early in the game, but it's sporadic too. But on a positive note, it's a good looking game. The sprite work is detailed enough, the bosses are huge, and it has an unconventional twist. And really, it's that unique presence that stays consistent with cave shmups. I don't believe I will run back to this title anytime soon, but I'm happy that I got to experience what it had to offer. DonPachi was a decent start, but their next game is what really put Cave on the map.
Go, 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 go! Go, go, Fox!